How you doing, people from all over? Welcome to this new video. Today we're in the middle of the forest of the circuit number 1 of Machu Picchu, Incan side wonder of the world. We just came because we actually ended a trail yesterday. We took a train with our passengers. Then we came to the site. We are in the middle of February. Still the rains persisting around. It's very humid, the path. And then our clients who had still 2 more tickets for the visit today, they just decided to remain in the hotel. They are still sleeping. They were very tired, and we took the chance to come here over to do a couple of videos about how the circuits look like. And you're gonna have an idea, by the way, how these new circuits here inside of the wonder of the world look like. We actually have a couple of videos about those, but it is interesting today. So this is how Machu Picchu looks in the middle of the rainy season. It is going to be very illustrating for you to know. I will try to get the 3 different perspectives from the 3 different circuits for those clients that are still planning to come with us. So let's go for it. Welcome to Machu Picchu. Welcome to the Deep Andes. So for those that came to Machu Picchu before, this used to be the old entrance to the postcard view, which is now closed. So we have a new trail here going to the left that's actually taking you to, respectively, the Inca Bridge, as it says, the mountain Machu Picchu, and Intipunku or Sun Gate. Yeah, those are the new trails people opened for our travelers here. Whenever you take the circuit number 1, so by force you will have to go all the way up to just wait for the best of the views. So the main characteristic of this circuit number 1 is that you go to the highest platform spot of the Incan city, and from those you eventually get the views. So we're finally on the original Inca trail, where you're gonna find this letter saying to the Inca Bridge, Puente Inca, or even to Machu Picchu Montaña, which takes you there to the right. So the same. Here's still the expansion of the Circuito Número 1, the circuit number 1 that takes you to the mountain. I'm gonna attach you some images also about how great the views are from the Machu Picchu mountain, rather from the Sun Gate trail as well. And right like it happens in the Andes, this is how Machu Picchu clears up, covers. We have the privilege to see the sun and also the dance of the clouds here. So these platforms should be the highest ones inside of the Incan area over the farming sector. So you're gonna locate yourself, if you are in the circuit number 1, by looking at the house that you have down there with a couple of our workers. So this is the so-called guard house, and we are behind of it. This is the south of the Incan city. Yeah, so these are the views from the circuit number 1. During these days of February, that is very important, the Inca Bridge, the extension of the circuit number 1, is not open for the same reason of the amounts of rains and sometimes landslides. The total trail to the Sun Gate is not open, yeah, because sometimes, and in fact, there are some landslides as well. So we just take care of our people. So here's where people are taking their time to do their picture sessions, their videos as well, and for sure it is perfect. So time before we used to walk all the way freely, even you could stay around those platforms behind for a couple of hours with our people doing some Tai Chi, yoga, meditation, whatever. but unfortunately it is not possible. So here is the broader platform. Whenever we have big groups, this is where we come. We stay here. This is the area where we are allowed to stay still some more time. Yeah. So these are the higher platforms in Machu Picchu area. Looks very empty with a lot of disposition because the season as well. Yep. Important point is when we have groups coming from the Inca Trail, they are allowed to come here to the views in the highest platform. So they have their picture sessions and a stay of about 25-30 minutes. Then they are invited to exit because they still have a second entrance. And in the case of the 2 days Inca Trail, you're invited to get inside of Machu Picchu in a second day. Yeah, so there is a 2 days Inca Trail, which actually is a full day trekking and a second day of visit through the circuit number 3, the circuit number 3. Yeah, so we are exiting already from what is the circuit number 1. We were talking with a couple of our travelers here independently, going by themselves. They got confused again. They didn't know this circuit was just the views on the superior part. Even for my colleague tour guides, I want to tell you that there's a new exit from the circuit numero 1. So you guys go to the platforms that you have behind there next to the guardhouse. Actually behind the guardhouse, you don't go then to the lower area. So this is the new exit from the circuit number 1. I saw sad faces, not very satisfied, because this is what you cover. You can still go to the Sun Gate, yeah, but on this time in February the trails are closed. So during these days, that's important for you. On February you cannot go to the total trail to the Sun Gate or even to the Inca Bridge. So they're closed. I wanted to go to the Inca Bridge by myself, so we're exiting already. We're over one of the platforms we have here inside of the area, and actually when we have specific cases we go through flat down into the Incan city. Sometimes we have then the cases we have seniors or travelers with certain limitations physically, so we don't take them higher. But still, if you have the flexibility, the time, and also the will, still your guides can take you higher up there to where we have some people, so you have different views. Anyway, the views are still great from here. I'm going to try to go up there in order to show you the way through from the higher point and the lower part of the guardhouse. Something important is that when you buy your ticket, there is one part that says circuit number 2, higher or lower. Don't mind about those because they are practically the same. They give you this same view, so just buy circuit number 2 in case. That's the one that we mostly buy for our travelers, yeah, coming with our groups. So we will try to go higher up there in order to give you some of the views from above. Right, like you can see, we are over the same original Inca Trail of earlier, but in this case in the lower part. So this Inca Trail permits you to go to the highest view of the circuit number 2. I'm gonna show you the images we set. This is the one that takes you to the highest platform of the circuit 2. Let's go for it. right, like you've noticed, there's more people inside here. This is the most demanded circuit. Anyway, it gives you a really spectacular views still. You have to be really patient with the groups and the explanations many times of our people. They limited space, as you can notice, but we're getting closer to the Incan city through the main gate. That was the one in the 15th century as well. We'll try not to give you that much of historic information. This is more a video for informing you about the circuits. Yeah, so I want you to analyze the views from here are different. Whenever you have letters telling do not stop for the pictures, try to listen to that, try to read well. Once inside of the Incan city, it's going to be the decision of your leader taking you either from the entrance to the left, that's what you see there with our family explaining. You can still go straight, that eventually take you to the same area, but if you want to go to the view of the Sun Temple, you have to do the stairs. Coming inside of the Incan city, some more meters ahead to the right down the stairs. So this is the trail taking you to that point. Let's go. Tell you what, the battery of our GoPro camera just died. I'm using the phone's one. Whenever we travel with our clients, we're not allowed to film, you know, I have to look after people, but we can still do some little videos, so I'm taking a chance today. This is the phone's camera, hopefully not bad. Still inside of the circuit number 2, we are in the main square. We are in this sort of patio, which actually is one of the national faults inside of the Incan city, transformed into this celebration area. I'm sure our guides I can explain you a little bit more about that. So we still continue from here. You know what? I still can see some people there while hiking Machu Picchu. Yep. So there are some people right on the top. Look at that. That's part of the eventual hike to the Machu Picchu mountain. Still part of the circuit number 3. While we walk around, I have to tell you that this circuit, as you saw, includes the most important sites of Machu Picchu. So circuit number 2 includes still the views, the postcard views. Then you can still go a little bit higher from the traditional postcard views. You can get inside of the Incan city by itself. In order to go through Sun Temple, you can get your explanation of the quarries. Progressively you go over the sacred plaza, plus this walk on the east with the view of the Machu Picchu behind there. We are already on the way to the exit, so you listen to the roaring of the river down there. So when I take my groups, I really like to complement our explanations from the views regarding to the spiritual sector. We still go to the Temple of Condor. Yeah, if you'd like to learn more about that, just join our circuits, just join our groups, join our private tours. That's how we would give you more information about that. Always there is a new picture in Machu Picchu, even though you're in the same point. Yeah, then if you still have the circuit number 1, you will have good views. You just have to remember you have to stay a little bit longer up there. In the circuit number 2, it deserves of a little bit more of effort, because you're going to give the whole round practically inside of the Incan city, right? Like we're going to end inside of Templo del Cóndor. It's empty, almost everything, because we are in the middle of February, and this is the one, yeah. So we have the Condor Temple, the one that helps us to complement our previous explanations behind there from the spiritual sector. So it is time to exit just to the bus station eventually. We're gonna cover yet some of the circuito número 3, circuit number 3. Let's go for it. So we're back to the GoPro. We just charged it next to the circuit number 3 gate. This is the one. Thanks to our people for helping us. I didn't count with an extra battery today. So this is the entrance for the circuit number 3. Yep. Let's see which are the views for our walkthrough in the case of the circuit number 3. So we're now at the beginning of the circuit number 3. Whenever we have our clients that don't want to go all the way around walking, sometimes even when we have wheelchair programs, when we have our seniors coming and willing to do their visit, there's even a part where you can still sit and wait for your groups if you don't want to go all the way around. Or this eventually takes you almost flat, ambiently flat, to the temples that we have inside. Then we're going to cover a little bit of that. For those who still ask about if you get the views from the circuit number 3, for sure these perspectives are different. We're in the middle of the rainy season, remember, so we came from the top. Up there you see some of the guardhouse. We were on the wooden steps respectively in the circuit number 1 and the circuit number 2. Now we're doing a little bit of the circuit number 3. There was just someone falling off. Sometimes this happens there. So that's why I don't record when I'm traveling with my people, because you have to work for them. The same, I was telling, whenever you want to visit the circuit number 3, we mostly start by the Temple of the Sun, which is the construction you have in here. Afterwards, we cover these that we call the House of the Inca. Yeah, you get beautiful explanations there with your guides. Then we walk these steps down, we go into the area of the convent. So if you have your ticket that still takes you to Machu Picchu, that's where you have to hike. Machu Picchu is the top, over 2,700 meters above the sea level. Yeah, we're going to show you a little bit of the images. By the way, in the morning we didn't get to notice well the trail to the Sun Gate. Actually, it is right there, and in the circuit number 1, in regular days, unless the rainy season, people allow you to go to the Sun Gate, and from the Inca city entrance it takes an average of 2 hours and a half to go to the Sun Gate up there. Then 1 hour roughly to come back to the exit, since that part of the circuit number 1. Let's go through. We are next to the Temple of the Sun. As you notice, the views are all the time different. We were just walking earlier on the other side. That path then corresponds to, again, the circuit number 2. So we are about to get inside of this so-called convent. Now this is how it looks. An important part of our walkthrough, there's this sign telling Montaña Huayna Picchu, which is this one, yeah, this path taking you to the Huayna Picchu mountain hike, which is right behind there, or the Machu Picchu mountain, which is this tiny one. If you still have the possibility to book Huayna Picchu, that's the one I really invite you. If you booked already Huayna Picchu mountain but you don't want to go all the way to the top of that mountain, you can still go to this small one, yeah. And it's the flexibility of our guards here too. That's what they do. That's what they allow you to do yet. However, if you have the ticket for the tiny mountain, they will not allow you to go to the Huayna Picchu, definitely, yeah. So it's different. We're walking now on the way to the constructions we were before. In fact, it is going to look a little bit familiar for you. Around there, we're going to go back to this spiritual sector. We will not go anymore to the Temple of Condor. Then we were walking earlier through here. Now we're gonna go to the other sector called the meters, actually with a letter telling you to go to the circle number 3. This is technically how it continues. Yep, we're going back to the south. Huayna Picchu behind us. I'm going through . So you saw the area where we usually explain about those carving mortars, or there was a group with my colleague working, so I cannot be talking all the time next to those sites. And that's basically the circuit number 3, people. If you don't do the Huayna Picchu hike, that's the circuit number 3. If you eventually do the circuit number 3, you're gonna start, of course, right like we started. If you have the extension to Huayna Picchu, you will still go to the mountain, and you might take more time for sure to do the whole tour, the whole circuit, plus the mountain. Let's say if you start at 7, you might end by 11. But if you don't have necessarily the Huayna Picchu added to your ticket on the circuit number 3, so this eventually takes 2 hours, let's say, of walkthrough, explanations, pictures, videos, and everything, yeah. So let's just go to the exit. And of course, people, remember that you can still join our channel. Thanks for your thumbs up. Thanks for subscribing, the ones that are coming to Peru. We're going to give many tips, not just from the commercial point of view, not just from the tourist point of view, but from the point of view of the correct people, your tour guides here in the Andes. My name is paul.chacon. Promise I will buy more batteries for our GoPro. Welcome to the deep Andes. I see you in the next video.